WTVG Toledo, this is 13 ABC Action News.
It was nearly standing room only at Ottawa Hills High School auditorium tonight. Many students and parents cried during a devastating presentation on teen drinking and driving. That's because it was about one of their classmates killed in a drunk driving crash, and the people giving the presentation, that boy's parents. That's our lead as 13 minutes of nonstop news starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Diane Larson.
And I'm Lee Conklin. We're talking about the accident in February that claimed the life of 18-year-old Brian Hoeflinger.
That's right. Tonight, his parents, Brian and Cindy Hoeflinger, talked to the community about that in a remarkably honest and painful presentation. They're doing this now, so soon after their son's death, to reach kids around the prom and graduation season. Before tonight's event, they sat down with me and photojournalist Justin Below for an interview because they want everybody to know just how much Brian matters.
He made a bad choice that night.
The Hoeflingers had it all, both doctors, he a neurosurgeon, she a forensic pathologist. 4 beautiful children, a wonderful home, a perfect life. Their oldest, Brian, was a high school senior, an A+ student, standout golfer, with dreams of becoming an orthodontist. In an instant, everything changed. In the early hours of February 2nd, Brian was likely on his way home when his car hit a tree. He died early that morning while his parents slept.
Part of me died, part of her died, and you can't ever get that back. It's gone forever.
In the days that followed, the Hoeflingers learned a terrible truth about their son, that he had been drinking that night.
He made a choice to take a drink, and once he took that first drink, it's the alcohol making that decision.
The Hoeflingers are still stinging from the perception in the days after Brian died that they were somehow in denial about the drinking.
I mean, there is a component of shame, because that's how people think about that, you know, and you know, it's hard to accept that.
I'd like to put my son in the ground, as blunt and horrible as that sounds, before I address any issues of what happened that night.
They're addressing those issues now in front of huge crowds.
When this all happened to Brian,
in a packed Ottawa Hills High School auditorium, they told their story.
They don't think it can happen to him, and it can.
They made a video of Brian's life and his death. Pictures of him when he was little, family vacations growing up, and graphic police photos of the crash scene and Brian in his coffin. They asked us not to show it. They want to control that message.
I mean, I'm usually crying during the video, and then I do my part after the video, so I'm wiping my tears away usually. I don't know when that'll stop, but it certainly still happens.
Well, every time you see it's all pictures of our life, this wonderful life that we had.
They point out that most high school seniors drink, but their parents are in the dark about what and how much.
We had no idea. We thought, I mean, Brian's 18. Why would I not expect him to drink, you know, try drinking a little bit? But I didn't.
Never dreamed it was vodka.
Yeah, I didn't fathom they were drinking vodka and just, you know, pounding. So,
and walking into a liquor store and buying it.
There is an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the accident. The Hoeflingers will comment when it's finished. But for now, they hope this presentation sparks an honest communication with other parents, with kids, with everybody.
It's not easy for us to get up there and talk about this and show our private life on a video to kids and show them what can happen and the accident scene pictures and things like that.
The Hoeflingers hope no one forgets that more than anything, Brian was a smart kid with a gentle, spiritual soul.
The physical part of him starts to fade. You can't hear his voice anymore. You can't smell his cologne. And there's a fear that you will lose that. Tangible. You don't have the tangible anymore.
They believe a higher power is now propelling them to channel their grief into action, to stand on a stage, to peel back their skin, to show the raw agony of parents who lost a good boy to a bad decision.
There isn't a second of any day that we don't think about him, and we each cry individually on our own at different times, and the kids go through it, and it's horrible, and it rips your life apart, and if we can save one family from going through that, I think it's worth it.
And we call this Brian Matters because that's the name of the website that his father created not long after Brian died. So go to brianmatters.com to get more information about a memorial fund his family has established through the Toledo Community Foundation to raise money for charities that were important to Brian. And in 3 short months, Lee, it's raised $70,000, and it will likely go up much more after a fundraising golf tournament called Birdies for Brian. It's coming up in June.
The sport that he loved to play.
Absolutely.
Right? And incredible message, and what courage from the Hoeflingers 3 months after the accident. Are they willing to talk to other schools outside of Ottawa Hills?
Right. This was actually the 3rd school that they talked to. They're very passionate, in fact, about speaking and spreading this message. They're actually calling schools right now for prom and graduation season, offering this speech. They're willing to talk to any group, anytime, anywhere. They believe that perhaps this is Brian's purpose, to try to prevent one kid from drinking and driving and dying. And they're fulfilling that purpose with presentations like the one they gave tonight.
Story. Okay. Diane, thank you.